Now, speaking of Grand Bahama, Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis issued a statement after a special cabinet meeting late last night, confirming that the official death toll from Hurricane Dorian is now 43. Well, the Prime Minister visited Abaco yesterday, and he was on Grand Bahama on the ground on that island today, where he met with several residents, and he also spoke with representatives at the Emergency Operations Center, as well as just viewing on the ground the damage that was sustained on Grand Bahama. We now go to Atalia Hall of our Northern Service in Freeport, who spoke with the Prime Minister earlier today.
The nation's leader, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, traveled to Grand Bahama with several cabinet ministers, other government officials, as well as the Commissioner of Police. Leaders from various key agencies were all a part of the briefing held at the C.A. Smith complex. The Prime Minister thanked all of the members in the room for their support during this difficult time. He says without their support, there would have been more deaths in Grand Bahama and Abaco because no one expected the storm to be of such great magnitude. So far, some 8 deaths are reported on Grand Bahama and 31 persons are still missing.
What I can say that the entire international community is with us. They've been assisting us from day one. We had not arrived into Grand Bahama early because Grand Bahama was still under the storm, and we had to wait until there was some degree of oil clearance, and therefore we would have started working in Abaco. But be assured that we continue to get support from the international community. They've made commitments that they would assist us in rebuilding our country.
The nation's leader says there are a series of meetings planned with the international community.
Has been with us from day one. They still continue to assist us. And as we move, we must put organizational charts and team leaders together so that we have proper reporting and ensure that everything is brought in as quickly as possible.
Now, since Hurricane Dorian widespread devastation, the government has been criticized for reportedly closing the airspace, and persons who have goods are not able to land in Grand Bahama and Abaco, while the Prime Minister shared why that decision was made.
But we did that because we felt that planes that were not necessarily for humanitarian aid, and if we did not have complete control of the flight path and flights flying in, we could have ran into possibility of mid-air collision.
In fact, he says he can speak to the issue personally because he, along with a number of prime ministers from other nations, along with the Commissioner of Police, were traveling to Abaco this week, and the Bahamas Air flight that they were on dropped suddenly in the air.
But the pilot informed us that Bahamas Air had to drop because there was a plane on a direct collision course with our aircraft, and the plane was not responding to Bahamas Air's pilot. So that gives you a perfect example why we had to do it. So you can imagine if I and other leaders of the Caribbean were exposed to a potential mid-air collision, you can imagine what could have possibly happened. So when people scream and make noise that we were trying to avoid foods and other supplies coming into your territory, no, that was not the reason. We would never do that.
Now, in addition to the United States assisting the Bahamas, he says the Caribbean has been very supportive as well.
Had called immediately and was giving advice as to what they've gone through and what to expect. They've offered monetary assistance. They've offered also manpower to assist, and every Caribbean country had offered both monetary and assistance.
The nation's leader says the government is committed to the people of Grand Bahama and Abaco. He adds that he will soon give a national address, and during that time, he will ask for a national day of mourning. Flags will also be flown at half-mast in honor of those persons who perished during Hurricane Dorian. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.